If you think storing the food you absolutely will need to survive a disaster is too expensive and will take up way too much of your time, then listen very closely to what I have to tell you, because you used to be right. But important new developments have changed all that, not only for you, but for millions of other people like you who can see the handwriting on the wall. Listen, don't get me wrong. Food storage is vitally important, and it used to be that most honest, hardworking people simply couldn't afford it. But the new developments I'm going to tell you about right now will save your life and save your money too. Now, who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Sarah Stafford. I live in the Intermountain West with my husband and 3 kids. You may have seen my blog, readyfortheworst.com, where I write about self-sufficiency and survival. I'm an expert on food preservation and storage and a consultant to many of the big names in the survivalist movement. I co-authored the Rawls Gets You Ready Preparedness course with James Wesley Rawls, publisher of the #1 survivalist blog, survivalblog.com. Thousands have purchased this course over the last 7 years. I'm the author of the Bullion Bible, a precious metal buying course that has been getting rave reviews for the last 3 years. I'm also the author of Frugal Food Storage Secrets, a food storage and prepper course. The motto of this course is simple: saving your life and saving your money. I'm going to show you how to keep your family well-fed and healthy in any disaster. You know, I wish I could tell you that you will be just fine, but the ugly truth is, even in America, we're only a day or 2 away from riots in the street, empty stores, stormtroopers, and looting in the streets of your hometown. But before I show you your path to survival, you have to stop avoiding the hard truths. When the spam hits the fan, you've got to take care of yourself. I know that facing reality is frightening. I know we would all rather just hope everything will be all right. But the hard and ugly truth is, if you really care about yourself and your family, you have to start getting ready. You have to start getting ready now. Look at this photo. Look at these desperate people rummaging through the trash for food to eat after Hurricane Sandy hit New York and New Jersey in 2012. That happened right here in America, and this can happen to you. Your grocery stores will have empty shelves. Just think about getting by with no milk, no water, no bread, no meat, no canned goods, no frozen foods, nothing to feed your kids. Nothing. Who can you rely on? Look, our police and firemen and military are the best in the world, but they simply cannot protect your family and you in any emergency. Our problems are just too big. Are you saying to yourself, it can't happen in my hometown? Yes, I wish that were true, but every city and town in America is at risk of some kind of disaster. It's not just the natural disasters. There are other risks like disruptions in food delivery systems because of political demonstrations, economic collapse, or other unforeseen events. And these things don't even have to happen in your hometown. We are vulnerable in many ways. The Port of Los Angeles is the largest port on the West Coast. Because not all the containers that come into the port are screened, it's not hard to imagine a scenario where a catastrophe such as a dirty bomb hidden in a shipping container explodes, contaminating the entire port and shutting down the port infrastructure for months or even years. Such a device might also contaminate the Imperial Valley agricultural region, which produces 80% of the winter vegetables here in the United States. Only 2 days. Do you realize that the supermarket has only 2 days worth of food on hand? When a disaster hits, the store shelves are stripped bare in mere minutes. This means that you likely won't have time to stock up when a real disaster strikes. By the time you get off work and have time to go to the store, there won't be anything left. So let me ask you this. How many days worth of food do you have on hand right now? If you're like most Americans, you have 3 or 4 days worth of meals in your home and a few extra canned goods and maybe some extra frozen food in the freezer section of your fridge. That's it. So, in anticipation of some sort of sudden crisis, you go to the grocery store. So does everybody else. And that's the problem. What do rich people do when they get scared? They get expert advice and they get ready. They certainly know that waiting for the government to help is a losing proposition. They take action to make sure that their kids won't go hungry. The rich want to be in control of their lives and their destiny. They are doers and not procrastinators. Now, I'm not rich and you probably aren't either, but you can get expert advice and you can get ready. I started thinking about disaster preparedness in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. I saw those families being herded into the filthy, crowded, and unsafe Superdome because they didn't have food or water. I vowed that this would never, ever happen to my family. So I decided that if I wanted my family to eat while others had nothing, I'd better act. I really didn't know how to begin. I thought maybe I'd have to buy weird food like military rations that would sit in my basement until they went bad and I had to throw them all out. I was really worried that I'd buy the wrong thing and waste a lot of money. I didn't really know what I was doing, I have to admit. So I spent a couple years reading everything I could get my hands on, both online and offline, about food storage. I spent hundreds of hours poring over books, magazines, and the internet. In short, I learned from everything I could get my hands on. The more I read, I realized that storing food was definitely doable. I learned from other food storage experts about how to store food. I learned how long things would last and under what conditions. I learned money-saving secrets. I learned about delicious recipes that I could make from my bulk food. I even learned how to bulk package my own food, and I'll teach you about this in lesson number 16. So now, my basement has over a 3-year supply of food for my family. Now I feel so much better knowing that come what might, my kids are going to eat. Since then, I've helped hundreds of others, friends, acquaintances, and the many clients of Frugal Food Storage Secrets put together food storage plans for their families. I have personally consulted with many prepper and survivalist leaders, helping to create their food storage plans. Now here are just some of my student stories. Rick wrote to me and said, "Sarah, I just want you to know how much I appreciated your food storage advice when Hurricane Sandy hit. Our local supermarket was out of food because all the trucks were not making deliveries because of the hurricane. I was so grateful that I could continue to feed my kids and wife, even when the power was out and we had no refrigeration. It was kind of fun, actually. I set up the camp stove in the garage and we cooked the stuff we had stored. My neighbors didn't have any provisions and were hungry after a couple of days, so I invited them over for meals. So I was able to feed my gang and the neighbors too. I couldn't have done it without your advice. Thanks much. Rick G. from Bayonne, New Jersey." Amy wrote to me and said, "Sarah, I'm so glad I purchased your course. I had been meaning to start storing food for quite a while and I just never got around to it. It was easy to put off. And then after Katrina, I wanted to have a plan, but it just never happened. I thought it would be too expensive, and so I just kind of gave up on the idea. Then when you showed me how I could have some storage food without spending a lot of money, what you were saying made a lot of sense to me, so I'm glad that I finally started. I'm on my way to storing a whole year's worth of food, and since it's the same stuff we're already eating, I don't have to worry that the kids won't like it. I feel so much more secure now." Amy L., Portland, Oregon. Learn with me the easy way. Now you can learn from me the easy way without having to start from scratch like I did. I show you how to make a plan customized for your family and for what you like to eat. You won't have to eat weird food. You won't have to worry about buying the wrong thing. You won't have to spend a lot of money. Here are some more stories from happy clients. Derek S. wrote to me and said, "Hey Sarah, I got your course last month and just wanted to tell you how it's going. I got it so that my wife and I could make a plan for storing some food. We had been getting around to it for a long time and decided that now was the time. We went through the course together, made the plan as you advised, and stocked up. We felt so good to be able to start and finish the plan in less than a month. And we were so pleased that we didn't have to buy any expensive freeze-dried stuff, which we really didn't want to get into. We stocked up on stuff that we would normally buy, so we didn't worry about buying a bunch of stuff that we wouldn't use and would have to throw out later. So anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for the course and the great info. Derek S., Orlando, Florida." Annette said to me, "Hi Sarah, I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed your course. I had been meaning to start keeping a little extra on hand, but didn't really know where to begin, so I was grateful that you laid it out so plainly. I worried about buying the wrong stuff, but with your way of doing things, I couldn't go wrong since it was stuff I and my kids were eating already. As a single mom, I worried about the cost, but it ended up being affordable. So I just wanted to thank you for showing me the way. I feel so much more secure now that I have some food stored for an emergency." Annette W., Branson, Missouri. You can get ready fast in about a month. By following my simple plans, you can have your family prepared for a disaster in less than 4 weeks and have a month's worth or more of healthy food that your family already eats stored away in your pantry. And it won't cost you an arm and a leg either to stock up. And once you have the 1-month minimum, you can add from there and store as much as you have room for. Now, imagine you're ready with all the food, water, and supplies to thrive in any disaster. Imagine the threat of disaster looms, but while everyone else is scrambling to get to the grocery store and finding the shelves bare, you and your family are safe at home. You have a month's worth of food on hand and can well afford to stay safely at home while everyone else has to scrounge for supplies. You will save your life and save money too. While I was doing my own food storage plan, I learned so much, and I learned more by helping others in my private consulting business. And now I want to help you too. So I created Frugal Food Storage Secrets, what you need to know that nobody else is talking about. Frugal Food Storage Secrets is a 20-part video and audio course that walks you step by step through how to make a food storage plan tailored for your family, and then teaches you how to execute that plan. The course is broken down into easily consumable chunks of less than 30 minutes each to avoid the overwhelm that comes with getting too much information at once. You can watch the video or listen to the audio, your choice. Implement what is taught and then come back and learn more when you're ready. I break food storage down into simple steps that you can use right now. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment either. Here's what you will learn. Secrets to frugally storing food as much as you have room to store so that your family will be well fed when the grocery store shelves are bare. Sneaky ways to get your family to eat storage food. You'll love these. I talk about this in lesson 3. Lesson number 5 covers some medical supplies that you won't want to be without. This one item is essential if water is scarce. In lesson 19, I tell you about my favorite food storage gadget. You can get it at Costco. Tips and tricks to store the food that you already eat so you don't have to go out and buy weird food that your family might not eat in a crisis. I cover this in lesson 3. You don't want to store a lot of this everyday item. It will go rancid before you can use it, and I tell you what it is in lesson 7. You can expect mutiny at the dinner table if you forget to store these items that I talk about in lesson 13. Lesson number 4 talks about an ordinary household substance that makes your water safe to drink. Lesson number 3 talks about secrets to a food plan that's custom made for your family. You'll learn how to tailor a plan so you always have a delicious stock of their favorites on hand. Lesson 16 tells how to save big money on storage basics. Don't end up with a bunch of things that go bad before you can eat them. Follow these tips in lesson 3. Lesson 18 details my favorite sources for preparedness food. Whether you live on the East Coast, the West Coast, or someplace in between, you've never seen some of these hard-to-find resources before. Lesson 4 talks about creative ways to store water to make sure that your family always has enough. Jumpstart your creativity with recipes that you can make entirely with your storage food. These are found in lesson number 3. Lesson 14 contains a sure sign that you should throw out that can of food. Ignore this and die. Lesson number 2 talks about rotation tips to prevent food waste and spoilage. And there's much, much more. Saving your life and saving your money. As you know, that's the motto of this program. You are guaranteed to save more than the cost of the course. You get bulk buying tips all through the 20 lessons, and at the end of the course, I wrap it all up with a special report, Secret Savings of Bulk Buying. Maybe you need to be ready for an economic disaster, like you and your spouse losing your jobs. Now, I know that this plan works because it's the same method I use to store 3 years' worth of food for my family, and others have used it as well. One of my students lived for more than 6 months off of her food supply when her husband lost his job. Now, here's what Laura wrote to me. Dear Sarah, recently we had to use our storage food. I can't tell you how much it meant to us to be able to know we could still eat after Eric got laid off. If we hadn't stored some food during the good times, we would have lost our home because we would have had to choose between making the house payment and feeding the kids. Thanks to the plan that you and I implemented, our family ate for 7 months on our food storage. We were able to hold out until Eric found another job, and we kept the house too. Thank you so much. Laura L. in Oregon. Frugal Food Storage Secrets. What exactly is in it? Frugal Food Storage Secrets is a 20-lesson video course on storing food and supplies for any emergency. You know what Einstein said. The best explanation is as simple as possible, but not simpler. My course is like that. As short and simple as possible, and everything you need to know to be ready for the worst. You get all 19 handouts, including the following: a food storage life chart, a fats and oils chart, a week's worth of lunch and dinner recipes you can make with your storage food, a food tracking chart, a water purification chart, a list of first aid supplies, a list of toiletries to store, a list of other non-food supplies to store, a whole grain info chart, a legume storage chart, a checklist for spices and flavorings, a high and low acid foods chart, an equipment checklist for bulk packing food, an oxygen absorber chart, a food inventory spreadsheet, a resources list, sources for food packaging and sources for food buying, and a list of tools for food storage and links to buy. You can either watch the videos on your computer, each one is less than 30 minutes long, or you can download the audio files and listen to them on your iPod. It's your choice. You get 5 lessons a week along with actionable steps for that week, so you never have to feel as if you're falling behind. Just do the steps every week, and in a month, you'll have your emergency supplies all taken care of and your family safe and secure. There are also handouts, checklists, and resources contained in each lesson, so you know exactly where to go and what to buy. You never have to guess. This means that you can get your plan up and running quickly with no hassle. I show you everything you need. It won't cost you $100 per hour, like Laura L. of Oregon paid. You remember her story about how this saved her house. My consulting rate is $100 an hour, so if you hired me to do this training for you privately, the 10 hours of lessons would be $1,000. I've had dozens of families hire me to make their food storage plans for them. I could easily charge $500 for this information, and many people would jump at the chance to learn what I know. But you're not going to pay that, not even close. You won't pay the regular price of $97 either. Because my mission is to get every family prepared for a disaster, I want this course to be accessible to everyone, which is why I've priced it at the very low price of $97, but I've reduced it even more. At this price, the course is an absolute bargain. You get a whole food storage plan tailored for your family and the peace of mind knowing that your kids will always be fed, even when the supermarket shelves are bare. And there's also some new bonus items that I just added. Frugal Food Storage Secrets just keeps getting better and better. My wonderful clients don't just rave about the course, they help me improve it. And you benefit because I've added 3 important new components. Number 1, prepping for your pets. You demanded it, so I created a special report that gives your pets the same loving preparation the rest of your household gets. Number 2, essential barter items. I've got your back on this. You'll know exactly what barter items will get you the most in trade during crisis times. It's full of surprises. Number 3, live and in-person Q&A sessions. I'm especially excited about this one. We have just started live Q&A sessions over the phone, and the response is amazing. I get to hear you all on the conference call, answer your questions, and give you personalized answers to the toughest food storage situations that you're in. And because you get lifetime access to this course, you also get lifetime access to the Q&A calls, lifetime access to new reports and added modules and lessons, and you get lifetime access to me, Sarah Stafford. Now, let's talk about my guarantee. You are protected by my Saves Your Life, Saves Your Money, rock solid guarantee. Look, if the success stories and proof didn't already show you, I am completely confident that Frugal Food Storage Secrets is exactly what you need to finally get prepared to feed your family in any disaster and save you money too. In fact, I am so confident that you will get the same results as all the people you read about who love this course, that you get to try it out totally risk-free for 60 days. And here's another promise. By the end of the course, you will have saved as much or more than the cost of the course. You are free to join, view all the video lessons, download all the checklists, recipes, tracking charts, special reports, bonus reports, and participate in the live Q&A sessions. You get everything totally risk-free. If you're not 100% delighted, If you're not 100% sure how to store food, if you're not 100% confident in your survival plan, and if you don't save more than the cost of the course, you get every last cent refunded to you, no hassles, no delays, no questions asked. I just wanted to make it clear to you that this is a completely risk-free investment. And now it's time to take action. You know that having a food storage plan and stored food to ensure your family's survival has been on your to-do list for a while now. So now's the time to act. So here's what to do. Click the big orange button and enter your payment information into the secure order form. You'll have instant access to the course and be on your way to securing your family's survival. The time to choose preparedness is now. So click the big orange order button now and get started today. Your family's survival depends on you. Don't let them down. Click the orange order button now. Saving your life and saving your money. 100% risk-free, completely guaranteed. Get Frugal Food Storage Secrets right now and take a look. Try out the plans, checklists, videos, worksheets, everything. See if this isn't the most valuable, practical, easy to use, and implement prepper planning on the planet. If it isn't, let us know by email and we'll refund your money, all of it, for up to 60 days. It's that simple. So really, you have nothing to lose and you might save your life and the lives of your family. And please remember, I am also promising you will save the entire cost of the course or more by using my secret savings of bulk buying report and all the other things I teach you in the course. Go ahead and order now, and welcome to the security and peace of mind that comes from knowing you are ready for the worst.